Good afternoon, colleagues and friends. Welcome to Faculty Convocation. My name is Professor Greg Stevens from the College of Communication and the Arts, and it's my pleasure to convene us all here today. It's wonderful to see people in person as we recognize our faculty accomplishments and in a very special way welcome our new faculty. Traditionally, we begin the program with the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner. Singing the national anthem this afternoon are Seton Hall students Elizabeth Puskas, Anne-Marie Ryan, Andrew Cates, and Devin McGuire. Please remain standing and join in the singing of our national anthem, and remain standing thereafter for the invocation that will be delivered by Father Colin Kay, Vice President for Mission and Ministry.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
In the rite of ordination to Roman Catholic priesthood, there is a moment where the man to be ordained priest lies down, face down, on the floor of the sanctuary while the assembly prays over him. His lying prostrate on the floor, a gesture of his self-offering to the Lord and his surrender to the needs of God's people. It is said that Pope John Paul II, Saint John Paul II, would remark now and then to others that at that moment in his ordination he prayed that he might be the way along which others might walk to the Lord. So may it be for us. Lord, to you we pray. May we be the way for our students and for one another. May each one of us be that bridge, that living, breathing, walking, talking, learning, teaching, serving bridge that leads all to all that is good and true and beautiful. May it be so, Lord. May we be the bridge. May we be the way. Bless us. protect us from all evil, and guide us safely through this new year. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Saint Elizabeth Ann Seton, pray for us.
Thank you all. Please be seated. President Nair, Provost Passerini, Dr. Balkin, newly promoted faculty and colleagues, welcome to our annual faculty convocation. Also welcome to the deans of our colleges and schools and the members of the Faculty Convocation Planning Committee who are on the dais with us. This afternoon, we celebrate the bonds that join us together and share in the renewed energy and excitement as we begin a new academic year. Now let us take a moment to honor and remember the faculty members who are not joining us this academic year, those who left us. I invite Professor Gerard Shea, University Libraries, to present the necrology.
We remember and honor our fellow faculty who have passed away during the past year. They are Dr. Kwame Akanar, Associate Professor, Department of Political Science and Public Affairs; Reverend William D. Driscoll, Professor Emeritus, Department of History; Rabbi Asher Finkel, faculty member in the Jewish Christian Studies Program; Monsignor Charles Gusmore, Immaculate Conception Seminary School of Theology; Dr. Albert Hakem, Professor Emeritus, Department of Philosophy; Monsignor William C. Harms, faculty and associate in the Immaculate Conception Seminary School of Theology, Vice President for University Planning; Dr. Julia Miller, founding associate director of the Center for Black Studies; Dr. Joseph Malloy, associate professor, Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry; Reverend Lawrence T. Murphy, faculty in the Department of Philosophy, 16th president of Seton Hall University; Dr. Richard Agnebanne, Dean, College of Education and Human Services; Ms. Anna Riera, Adjunct Professor, Department of Languages, Literatures, and Cultures; Dr. Melvin J. Shea, Professor and Dean, College of Education and Human Services, Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs; Dr. Eileen Marie Walker, Professor, Department of Education, Leadership, Management, and Policy; Professor Eileen Amy York, Professor Emeritus, College of Nursing. May the memory of our deceased colleagues remain in our hearts, minds, and prayers.
Thank you, Jerry. It is now my pleasure to introduce the chair of the Faculty Senate and invite her to say a few words. Dr. Mary Balkin assumed the role of chair of the Faculty Senate this past spring and is also a professor in the English department. Dr. Balkin.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Dr. Nair, Dr. Passerini, members of the Deus Party, faculty, and staff colleagues. I'd like to congratulate those who have achieved promotion and tenure. Well done. Love the gowns. I would also like to extend a special welcome to our newest colleagues, many of whom I was able to meet at new faculty convocation a few weeks ago. I'm sure it seems like nearly an eternity since that day in the Beck rooms. I would also like to introduce and thank the other members of the Senate Executive Committee who have toiled beside me throughout the summer. My Executive Committee report to the Senate today was 4 pages long, single-spaced. And we will continue to work hard in the year ahead. So if you are here, please rise when I say your name. Dr. Sona Mattel, School of Health and Medical Sciences. Dr. Mary Ellen Roberts, College of Nursing. Dr. Amy Hunter, College of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Phil Moorman, School of Diplomacy and International Relations, who is on his way back to Boston. And Dr. Julie Lothian, College of Nursing. So, Thank you all. I'd also like to thank... Thank you. I agree. I also would like to thank all of those who serve on the Senate. It can be challenging and tedious work, but it has its rewards, not least of which is the privilege of serving our colleagues. Before I begin my official remarks, I would like to take a moment and ask you to do something that has become all too fraught since early 2020. I'd like us all to take a breath. I know it is a bit difficult to do wearing a mask, but let's give it a try. And in simpatico. So, please close your eyes or leave them open if you prefer and take a breath. Thinking about the air as it moves into and out of your body, being mindful of this moment in time when we are able to be here together, whether in person or virtually. Let us be grateful for one another and everything we each do to support the collective mission of this university. And let's appreciate this moment, whatever the future holds. I want to begin by saying on behalf of the Faculty Senate and on my own behalf, how wonderful it is to see all of you and to have those of you viewing the live stream join us. I am grateful for the wonders of technology and those at the university who make this possible. I was driving to campus on Thursday morning and heard that schools in some towns were closed due to flood damage, but students were taking class remotely and would be back in person next week. As recently as 18 months ago, that would have been an impossible scenario to imagine. A closed school, whatever the reason, would have meant a suspension of learning. Well, and some very happy young people, but there is always a price to be paid for progress, right? That is no longer the case. On August 18th, I joined a group of our colleagues who are exploring the use of contemplative practices here at the university at a retreat at Villa Pauline in Mendham. It was an experience that moved me in profound ways and gave me the inspiration for my remarks today. I think all who were present that day would agree that one of the most affecting facilitators was Dr. Anthony Nicotera, Assistant Professor of Social Work, who spoke about the 3 S's: silence, story, and song. Hard to say for somebody who used to have a lisp. Anyway, as guiding principles in his own journey and in his teaching. We've already had the silence, and I promised Phil Mormon I wouldn't ask anyone to sing, except for the alma mater, so that just leaves the story. So what I want to ask you is this: what kind of story will we write together this year? The last academic year and the end of the prior one were incredibly challenging, and we rose to that challenge in so many ways, large and small. But it was also a time of profound change, both actual and proposed. I'm not going to argue here either for or against those changes. That's for the Senate and other meetings where we will thoughtfully consider the issues before us. But what I also saw last year was a profound shift in tone: anxiety, suspicion, anger. This seems to have become the pandemic's emotional trifecta in so many aspects of our lives, not just here where we work. And I don't mean to say these feelings were unwarranted or unimportant, but I do think they can be unproductive. When faced with a challenge or a problem, my instinctive response, and this surely comes from being the eldest of a large family, very large, is to ask, how can I fix this? Well, maybe after the anxiety, the suspicion, and the anger. But the question always remains, what can I do to help the situation? And the more I reflected, and this also came out of the retreat, the more I thought, perhaps we can start by returning to our former slogan here at Seton Hall, besides Go Pirates. We can be a home for the mind, the heart, and the spirit. The return starts with compassion for our students, for one another, and especially for ourselves. We need to acknowledge the traumatic nature of the pandemic and that its effects will be something we wrestle with for years to come. This is especially true for those who have lost loved ones, for those who have had to accept that because of their health conditions, getting sick might have very serious consequences, for those who had to become a stay-at-home parent in addition to their usual responsibilities, for those who have been in the trenches, dealing with students who are also anxious and depressed and afraid. It means that those making policy and rules in this environment must work harder than ever to understand what it means to be in these situations, the toll it takes on the psyche, and how to respond accordingly with patience and empathy. An emphasis on the heart, mind, and spirit presumes trust, the belief that the actors in a given situation have the best interest of our students and the university at heart. We are here because we want to be here, and many of us because we sincerely love the university. It means giving one another the benefit of the doubt, but trust is easily lost, and once lost, it is slow to be regained, if it ever is. The best way to maintain it is through transparency and open and honest communication. For example, as a recent article in the Chronicle asked, why can't the university budget be available to everyone? Finally, throwing that out there. Finally, spirit suggests community. What kind of community do we want to create here, using the best of what we've learned in order to do so? In her remarks at New Student Convocation, Provost Passerini observed that one of the lessons she has learned in the last year is that Seton Hall is a family. I would agree, but what kind of family are we? Are we functional or dysfunctional? I won't tell you about mine. Do we listen to and respect one another? Are we interested in the opinions of the younger members, or do we make decisions on their behalf because they simply don't know better? Are we working toward common goals and doing so in good faith? One thing that was a distinct challenge last year was our ability to get to know the newcomers in our midst and for them to get to know us, and that has to change. Hopefully, now that we're back on campus, we'll have occasions to see one another in more casual ways, on the green, at events, and so on. The CFD, Center for Faculty Development, working with the DEI committee, will be encouraging the creation of affinity groups of various kinds, and I hope you'll consider participating in one. We need to actively engage in community building, and that goes from top to bottom. We also have work to do as a faculty. And so the Senate has an ambitious agenda for the coming year, one that is proactive as well as responsive. We will be looking for ways to improve the lives of faculty who are the lifeblood of the institution. We will be working with the TLC and other units to figure out how best the investment of the university, that the university has made in technology, both in equipment and in faculty expertise, can be used. As one colleague rightly observed, we can't put the cat back in the bag. We can admit that some good things have emerged from the pandemic. For example, I was actually regularly on time for meetings all last year, and many people commented on it. Thank you. But that was because meetings suddenly became easier, and meetings became more inclusive, too. It didn't matter what campus we were on. We could come together in teams to work together. So while recognizing financial realities of an ongoing pandemic, the impending enrollment cliff, and similar challenges, we will still be advocating for a compensation study in order to recalibrate compensation relative to our peer institutions, and with a peer list for comparison that is fair and reasonable. We will also continue to advocate for vastly improved adjunct compensation and other improvements for those in adjunct positions. And we will be pressing for tenure track hires to counteract the rising numbers of contingent faculty at the university. We will call for wide-ranging faculty inclusion in the implementation of the university's strategic plan, as well as the Middle States review process, which will be starting soon. We are already working toward broader faculty inclusion in high-level committees. To that end, we put out a call for faculty to be added to a list of volunteers from which the executive committee will recommend faculty for committees as they are created. The deadline was 2 days ago, but that's okay. Email Mary Ellen Roberts if you still want to be added. There you go. We will carefully monitor proposed changes in the physical structures of the university to ensure that faculty have a voice in these decisions, especially in the configuration of academic and faculty spaces. The phrase "a year like no other" has become a common way to describe the pandemic period to date, but maybe we can make the coming year a year like no other in the best possible sense. One where we engage with one another in good faith, where we work cooperatively in every sense of the word, where we treat one another with the dignity and respect befitting professionals. You have a part in this. Familiarize yourself with the faculty guide, the revisions of which will be done by the end of this year, and read the Senate newsletter when it comes out. Come to Senate meetings, which will be offered high-flex for the foreseeable future. Reach out to your senators. Provide time for Senate updates in your school and college meetings. We are at our best when we work together. I look forward to seeing you again and again in the months to come as we work together to write the story of a university that is indeed a home for the heart, the mind, and the spirit. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Balkan. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be reminded to physically and metaphorically breathe. It's very, very nice. Now I would like to invite our Provost and Executive Vice President, Dr. Katia Passerini, to say a few words. Provost Passerini joined the Seton Hall community in February 2020. As the Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Passerini coordinates the efforts of the Division of Academic Affairs, including the colleges and schools, the University Library, and the Division of Continuing Education and Professional Studies. Please welcome Provost Passerini.
Thank you. Good evening, faculty and colleagues in the administration. And Dr. Balkan, there is no technology that is going to help me to be on time on meetings. So I have to learn that from you. What a great way to start the new academic year. Some of us in regalia, but together in person, and ready to pivot if needed, but always here for the students and here with and for each other. Starting again those intellectual and scholarly conversations and spirited debates that characterize a healthy university. Rest assured that well-trained and dedicated professionals are working together behind the scene and not so behind the scene to help us continue to be a healthy university. Trained professionals are contact tracing and monitoring each instance of a COVID-positive test. We knew that there will be cases. The world is getting COVID safer, but unfortunately not COVID-free. We're learning to live with the new reality. And we know that our well-vaccinated population of students, faculty, and employees are protected from serious illnesses. We're monitoring and seeing that the positive cases are among our vaccinated students, which somehow it's to be expected because close to 90% of our students are vaccinated, and more in the faculty and the staff, as I know you read weekly in the HICT messaging. So we have a very large N, and you'll teach me that that's to be expected. We're also seeing that symptoms are mild, and we continue to monitor. And we appreciate that by masking, transmission has not been occurring in our classroom or in other campus spaces where all people have been masking. We hope we have earned your trust, and Dr. Balkan just said trust is low to earn, and I would say very fast to lose. But we hope that we've earned your trust by virtue of our willingness to pivot in the past when conditions warranted it. And we stand vigilant and prepared to pivot again, how and if that becomes necessary. Your deans here have plans in place. Of course, this might include different guidelines for student activities and campus events, implementing parts or all of our instructional preparedness plans, or re-examining other practices that will enable us to continue our noble academic mission to be here with the students. We were ready last year. I remember last year at the virtual convocation that we had discussing the Aesop fable, the hunt and the grasshopper. So we prepared last year, and we have continued to prepare, and we will continue to be adaptable and agile to changing circumstances. But today, we're also here to recognize you, your meritorious accomplishments, honoring the faculty who achieved the coveted promotion and tenure to associate professor or the promotion to full professor. We're proud of you. We also recognize the faculty who earned a well-deserved merit award because of their service, scholarship, and teaching achievements. Thank you for your work. And finally, we're also here to welcome our new faculty, 18 of them. This is an incredible moment. And I want to thank you, your chairs and your deans, for conducting searches during the pandemic. And to our new faculty, wherever you are, we'll see you in a second, thank you for joining us and for all the work that you have done and you will do. Your accomplishments are remarkable, and you will see in the program link that you have online, there is a link to a faculty booklet where you can read all of the accomplishments. But your future accomplishment will be even more remarkable. And this is what makes our university one that is full of great minds. Welcome to the Seton Hall family.
Thank you, Provost Passerini. Dr. Joseph E. Nair is the 21st president of Seton Hall. Since taking the helm in July of 2019, he has guided the university through the pandemic while advancing a vision and strategy to elevate Seton Hall among the nation's foremost Catholic universities. He often discusses the power of place to change destinations and transform lives, and the vital role of faculty in this pursuit. From inspiring students to reach beyond their grasp, to advancing scholarship across respective disciplines, to engaging in shared planning and service to the university, President Nair believes that supporting an outstanding faculty is central to elevating Seton Hall's greatness. President Nair's leadership is informed by voices from and throughout the Seton Hall community and a commitment to shared governance. By embracing innovation, increasing adaptation, and remaining nimble, Seton Hall is advancing its stature as a national and international leader in Catholic higher education. Seton Hall has realized numerous achievements over the past 18 months, including finalizing a multi-year strategic plan, unanimously board approved in December of 2020. Harvest Our Treasures is a product of unprecedented involvement by the university community. The plan responds to the shifting higher education landscape by charting a course among America's most prominent Catholic universities. Also, completing a campus master plan to physically transform the university in support of learning, living, research, and student engagement environments over the next 15 years and beyond. Also, defining and advancing the university diversity, equity, and inclusion agenda, and recruiting the largest and most qualified freshman class in Seton Hall history. Also, implementing the university affordability agenda to provide maximum financial aid and student support services to ensure the university delivers on its Catholic educational promise. Reshaping Seton Hall's portfolio of academic programs and rebalancing instructional and non-instructional expenses to elevate academic quality and related investments in instruction and research. Advancing student persistence, success, and graduation. And lastly, planning and initiating Seton Hall's first comprehensive fundraising campaign in nearly 15 years in support of the university's strategy, Harvest Our Treasures. A devout Catholic, President Nair and his wife, the former Kelly McIntyre, have 4 children, Evelyn, Charlie, Henry, and Hadley. Please welcome President Nair.
Members of the faculty, friends, and the university at large, greetings. In these first days of the semester, we are progressing on a journey that restores much of what COVID tried to take from us. We did welcome our largest, most qualified, and most diverse freshman cohorts in history. Our campuses are active and vibrant thanks to your collaboration and the assistance of countless others. And we are delivering on our Catholic educational mission. There's much to be thankful for and much to look forward to. Before I begin, I ask you to join me in a moment of prayer and reflection for Nidhi Rana, our student who, along with a friend, tragically perished in last week's storm. Nidhi had only begun to write her Seton Hall story, and although she was new to our community, she was one of us. We offer our prayers and condolences to her family and her friends during this most difficult time. In preparing remarks for you today, I struggled to find the words to express my appreciation for all you have done and continue to accomplish. In the spirit of thankfulness, please be assured of my heartfelt gratitude and admiration for all you continue to do. It was your cooperation and flexibility were key to executing a successful pandemic year. You informed and supported efforts to adjust the academic calendar. You adapted to high flex with speed and skill. You are animating Harvest Our Treasures as it leads us to new levels of distinction. Most importantly, you continue to show students that Seton Hall cares for them as whole and unique individuals, not merely academic learners. Against what felt like impossible odds, you rose to inspire our students, to further your disciplines, and to serve the university. You encouraged our students to reach beyond their grasp, and perhaps a little further than they often thought possible. And while COVID may have affected families differentially, the cloud of the pandemic spared no one. You engaged and inspired those who would become the next CEOs, the next senators, next artists and athletes, teachers, lawyers, healthcare providers, future bishops and business leaders, researchers and rectors, policymakers, poets, and hopefully, future professors. I've witnessed your dedication and its impact student by student. And though I risk falling prey to the tyranny of the anecdote or big data, I must mention that this year's current retention rate of 83.7 exceeds the pre-COVID year we had of 82.6. And with shared planning and action, I'm confident we can do even better. But it says to the university that we're retaining students at a higher level than we were for the 2 years prior to the pandemic, and that's a testament to you. Turning to our disciplines, Malcolm Gladwell reminds us, God invents, humans discover. As a research university, we understand that the academy is a source of innovation in all disciplines, thus affecting the health and liberty of the Republic and the entire world. In that vein, I'm pleased to share that we have a growing number of Fulbright winners and noted scholars, including 2 faculty members this past year. So won't you please join me in congratulating law professor Jonathan Hafetz and professor of French and Spanish Matthew Escobar. Two of our most recent Fulbright winners, scholars. This month, Professor Hafetz assumed the role of visiting professor at the College of Law and Politics at Rikyo University in Tokyo. And Professor Escobar will be a visiting professor in the Department of Communication and Media Studies at Carlos III University in Madrid, beginning in January. May their work and success continue to inspire us all. Our colleagues are the latest in a steadily growing tradition of Fulbright winners here at Seton Hall. They are among the academic trailblazers who have called Seton Hall University their home. Luminaries such as John C.H. Wu, a statesman, a scholar, and principal author of the Chinese Constitution, and Sister Rose Thiering, who dedicated her life and scholarship to improving relations between Catholicism and non-Christian religions. I'm confident that Seton Hall's faculty will continue to build on this impressive legacy, and that we will be there to support you every step of the way. Toward key investments in the academy, The university has invested in additional grant support mechanisms to assist you in your continued scholarly pursuits. I know Provost Passerini and the deans will ensure those resources serve all of you well. Serving while leading. I want to thank you for doing more than your share last year. Scores of you served on working groups and teams, task forces, committees to provide input to university planning and decision-making. Safeguarding the faculty voice and upholding shared governance remain vital to our efforts and to the health of the Academy at large. So thank you for your help with reappropriating resources to rebalance instructional and non-instructional expenses, with continued improvement in our investments in instruction. Thank you for thoughtfully considering new academic programs for Seton Hall's future. Thank you for designing and helping deploy our accelerated program review. Thank you for advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts across the university. And thank you for developing and will soon deploy a comprehensive advising model and discovering new and creative ways to engage our students, and again, helping us to deliver on our Catholic promise via the university affordability agenda. We're grateful. As I've said, you did this against steep odds that we are only beginning to fully comprehend. We have a growing understanding of the impact of the pandemic on higher education as a whole. For example, the American Council on Education found that financial impact in higher education as a sector was approximately $120 billion. $77 billion was reimbursed by the federal government, leaving a hole of $43 billion in our sector. The Bureau of Labor Statistics found that the university workforce has suffered and has shed 650,000 jobs, 13% reduction overall. Turning more specifically to disproportionate impact, the National Bureau of Economic Research found that female faculty with children lost on average of 90 minutes of research time each day. Student career outcomes suffered. In the heart of the pandemic, the Chronicle of Higher Education found that 40%, as many as 40%, lost a job or an internship offer or other offers during the pandemic. And perhaps most startling, Washburn and McGladrick found enrollment of high school seniors in college decreased by 22%, with a disproportionate impact on low-income and minority students, most significantly affecting community colleges. All of these things are happening and many more in our sector in higher education. And these things were all happening while we were experiencing social and political upheaval, a presidential election, a presidential impeachment, an assault on the Capitol, and tragedy abroad. But may we take some solace, may we take solace in you. For in our darkest hours, faith shone into our campuses, our chapels, our classrooms, and onto the green. Catholics and non-Catholics, Christians and non-Christians alike, you have shown the world that Seton Hall people do more than show up. We roll up our sleeves, and we ensure our students' success, the health of one another, and the health of the university. Well, while it was not a year that any of us expected, you delivered. You also engaged in shared planning, in shared action, in shared sacrifice, and shared outcomes, allowing the university to lean forward, to think past the pandemic. Because we sacrificed in the early months of the pandemic, Seton Hall had the means to reimburse last year's salary reductions and resume 403B contributions this past May. And while we are not through the pandemic or immune from its continued impact on the university, I'm happy to tell you today that it's our intention to refund the 403B contributions that were reduced last year. More information on that decision will be disseminated in the coming weeks. Further, we have been steadfast, and we're united about the need to restore salaries and find resources for potential raises and begin the process to conduct a comprehensive compensation study. So as we solidify enrollment by Census Day and navigate these early weeks of the semester in the pandemic, know that these are priorities for the university. Our donors, our alumni, have also been inspired by the university and by you. We are grateful that gifts to the university doubled this last year during the pandemic, fortifying our ability to enter the silent phase of the first campaign in nearly 15 years. It's been quite a while for us. As a reminder, the silent phase of fundraising campaigns often last at universities 3 to 5 years. And when that silent phase is over, we'll have produced 50% of the campaign total. Then the campaign will go public with great momentum. We will soon be announcing that we've received 7 and hopefully 8-figure gifts. And please know these efforts are focused on raising funds in support of professors, of research and instruction, the academy at large, student scholarships, mission, diversity, and the construction and transformation of learning, living, and student engagement spaces on our campuses. Leaning forward, turning to the 2021-2022 academic year, the university is continuing, the university is counting on your support and your flexibility to build on these successes. With the semester in full swing, the stream of activity in our campuses has grown from a trickle to a roar. And in the coming months, we can look forward to advancing expressions of our strategic plan, Harvest Our Treasures, that is both comprehensive and ambitious, describing the best of what Seton Hall can be. It's leading us into the future with confidence, energy, and the wherewithal to forge a dynamic new expression of our Catholic mission. And it will allow us to fully recognize the academic vision that you so carefully and thoughtfully crafted as the faculty. So this year, let me highlight what we know we'll be accomplishing. We'll begin the process to conduct a comprehensive faculty compensation study. We'll deploy support for grants, attainment, and research. We'll advance interdisciplinarity and investments in instruction and research. We will further new and compelling academic programs and academies. We will diversify our faculty and administration and advance our university-wide diversity, equity, and inclusion agenda. We will deploy the bolstered university advising model that you helped develop last year to elevate retention and graduation rates and student outcomes. And we will deliver on our Catholic educational mission and our affordability agenda. We will continue building our campus for the future, raise needed resources to support the plan, and God willing, win more than one Big East sport and bring more than one NCAA title back home to South Orange. Our collective dedication to achieving these and other key strategic initiatives will continue to ensure Seton Hall takes its rightful place as a foremost Catholic university. A moment about COVID. It goes without saying that COVID remains a potent and ever-changing force. We plan and we look forward to hosting in-person and remote events, speakers and symposia, continued progress on building projects and enhancing our campuses, and additional collaboration on key strategic investments. However, we recognize the wisdom bestowed by the Yiddish proverb translated, "When you plan, God laughs." We are here today because our community successfully resisted the pandemic last year. Planning and nimbleness are the calls of the day as we learn to live with and eventually defeat this virus. We will need to continue to make decisions and modify plans that advance each other's health and safety. With vaccines and masking and specialized filtration systems, contact tracing and testing, dedicated quarantine and isolation spaces, and a multitude of actions and contingency plans developed with the input of many in this room today, we are confident of our collective ability to nimbly navigate the path of the virus. So I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful to the chairs and the deans and the provost office for having multiple sets of instructional contingency plans at the ready should we need to pivot to short-term or alternative instructional modalities. Again, I thank you all. On a personal note, I will share with you that, like many of you in this room, I have one member of my family who is just a little bit too young to be vaccinated, our youngest child of 4. And we have another member of our family that's severely immunocompromised. Their health and the health of all members of the Seton Hall community, particularly the most vulnerable, are top of mind for us every day. It's vital that we take precautions to protect one another by our individual and collective actions. We know the decisions we make and the actions we take today and each day will determine our commitment to one another and our ability to overcome this virus. I also know, like you do, that the days ahead will likely bring more divisiveness across the country and locally. And I pray and I believe that the Seton Hall community will demonstrate how communities can and should come together to help one another, especially to protect the most vulnerable. I would argue that these behaviors define humanity. How do we protect those that are most vulnerable in our community? That's the call of the day. In closing, let me reiterate my thanks to all of you for serving as full partners and leading Seton Hall this academic year that we've only begun to create. Let us build on the good work of the past 18 months and move forward in health and safety. Through it all, we will continue to make decisions rooted in faculty input and in shared governance, and I value the work we share, as I know you do. You and our whole community will be in my prayers for a dynamic, safe, and memorable year as we continue to rise with dignity to the charge with which we've been entrusted. So thank you. May God bless you, and may God bless Seton Hall. And go Pirates!
Thank you, President Nair. At this point in the program, we invite the deans to recognize their faculty promotions and tenure, emeriti faculty, and to introduce our new faculty. Allow me now to introduce the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Jarita Frierson. Dean Frierson.
Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to introduce a special cadre of arts and science faculty members today that have reached another milestone in their careers. With such great accomplishments and accolades, it is an honor and privilege to be their dean. On behalf of the Dean's Office, your colleagues, and your students, congratulations to all of you and to the other schools and colleges as well. Now let me present the faculty members for promotion to full professor. And please stand when you hear your name. Professor Amy Silvestri Hunter, Department of Psychology. Professor Rhonda Quinn, Department of Sociology, Anthropology, Social Work, and Criminal Justice. Professor Andrew Simon has 2 doctorates, PhD and a Psi Dean, Department of Psychology. Now let me introduce the faculty promoted to associate professor with tenure are as follows. Professor Kara Adams, Department of English. Professor Jessica Cottrell, Department of Biological Sciences. Professor Sarah Filston, Department of History. Congratulations to you all. Allow me to introduce our emeriti faculty and ask them to please stand when they hear their name. Professor Fred Booth, Classical Studies. Professor David Bossman, Department of Religion. Monsignor Richard Liddy, Department of Religion. And lastly, I will introduce our new faculty, and please stand when you hear your name. Please hold your applause until all new faculty have been introduced. Professor Shajina Anand, PhD from Anna University, Department of Mathematics and Computer Science. Professor Maureen Coyle, Master's in Philosophy, the City University of New York, Department of Psychology. Mario DeFranco has a PhD from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Department of Mathematics and Computer Science. Professor Felipe Lopez, a PhD from the University of California, Department of Political Science and Public Affairs. Professor Mitchell Sitnick, PhD from University of California, Davis, Department of Biological Sciences. Professor Marilyn Snyder, PhD from Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey, Department of Biological Sciences. And finally, Professor Kristen Stives, PhD from Mississippi State University, Department of Sociology, Anthropology, Social Work, and Criminal Justice. Welcome to Seton Hall, your new family.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the College of Communication and the Arts, I am delighted to celebrate a man who is the very heartbeat of music at Seton Hall University. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Jason Tram as he joins the ranks of Associate Professor with tenure in the College of Communication and the Arts. Congratulations to all those recently promoted. And now I would like you to join me in welcoming Dr. Courtney Smith from the School of Diplomacy and International Relations. Dr. Smith.
Good evening, everyone. I would like you to please join me in recognizing our faculty member, our colleague, our good friend, Dr. Martin Edwards, on his promotion to full professor. Congratulations, Martin, on this well-deserved honor. And now it's my pleasure to welcome Intern Dean Joseph Martinelli from the College of Education and Human Services.
Thank you. Please join me in welcoming our newest faculty members to the College of Education and Human Services. Manuel Gonzalez, PhD, the City University of New York. Manuel is in our Department of Education, Leadership, Management, and Policy. Welcome. Christina Cruz Guillet, PhD, Columbia University, Department of Professional Psychology and Family Therapy. Paul Garton, PhD, Michigan State University, Department of Education, Leadership, Management, and Policy. Our faculty awarded emeritus status are Charlie Mitchell, Department of Education, Leadership, Management, and Policy. Paula Zaccone, Department of Educational Studies. I now invite Dean Brian Schulman from the School of Health and Medical Sciences to the podium. Dean Schulman.
Good afternoon. On behalf of all of us in the School of Health and Medical Sciences, I would like to acknowledge colleague Dr. Nalan Johri, Department of Interprofessional Health Sciences and Health Administration, promoted to Associate Professor. I'd also like to welcome our newest faculty members, Jessica Dunn, Doctor of Physical Therapy, Arcadia University, Department of Physical Therapy. I believe she is not here this afternoon. However, I'd also like to introduce Julia M. Guzman, Doctor of Education and Doctor of Occupational Therapy, Columbia University, Department of Occupational Therapy. Welcome to Seton Hall. And now please join me in welcoming to the podium the Dean of the Law School, Kathleen Buzang. Dean Buzang.
Please join me in congratulating Jennifer Oliva for having obtained promotion to professor with tenure. And as a reward for that advancement, I immediately named Jen Associate Dean for Faculty Research and Development. So be careful what you wish for. Please join me in welcoming to Seton Hall University Sarah Gross, who is an associate professor and director of the Rodino Center for Library Information and Technology. She received her MLIS from Queens College and her JD from St. Louis University School of Law. Please also join me in welcoming Eugene Mazzo, JD, Stanford, and Michael Gran, JD, Columbia. And yes, welcome them. And uncharacteristically, I am remembering to introduce my colleague, John Bushman, Dean of the Libraries.
It is my pleasure to introduce our new faculty member who unfortunately could not be with us this evening, Matthew Boland, MIS from the University of Toronto. Be nice to him, he has his finger on the money spigot. Our faculty member awarded emeritus status is Beth Bloom. Congratulations, Beth. And now I invite Dr. Marie Foley, Dean of the College of Nursing, to come to the podium. Dean Foley.
Thank you, John. So I'm going to ask you all to please join me in congratulating our faculty member promoted to Associate Professor with tenure, Dr. Lori Welt. Congratulations, Lori. It's my pleasure to introduce our new faculty member, Nora Rowan. Nora couldn't be here tonight, but Nora has her Doctor of Nursing practice from Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey, and she will be joining our graduate department. So we can give Nora a clap. Next, I would like to ask Father Chris Ciccarino, Associate Dean of the Immaculate Conception Seminary School of Theology, to the podium.
Good evening, everyone. We'd like to congratulate our faculty members promoted to associate professors, and they are Timothy Fortin, PhD, Department of Philosophical Theology, and Patrick Manning, PhD, Department of Pastoral Theology. Congratulations. And we'd like to welcome our newest faculty member, Reverend Pavel Tomchek, PhD, Catholic University of America, to the Department of Formation and Moral Theology. And our faculty awarded emeritus status are Reverend Jerry Bracken, Monsignor Thomas Guarino, Reverend Larry Porter, and Monsignor Bob Wister. To one and all, congratulations. And please welcome now the Interim Vice President for Student Services, Dr. Monica Burnett, to the podium.
Thank you. Our newest faculty member from the Department of Military Science is Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Darrow. He's right back there, from the Naval War College. Welcome. And join me in welcoming back to the podium our Master of Ceremonies, Greg Stevens.
I think we just have a couple of placeholders here. Dr. Shoemaker? Yes. It's a little out of order here in the book. I apologize, but please welcome to the podium Dr. Peter Shoemaker, Associate Provost for Undergraduate Education and Assessment.
So this is the point in the program for a public service announcement. This semester, we are beginning to prepare for our reaccreditation by the Middle States Commission on Higher Education. We plan a campus-wide rollout toward the end of the fall, and this process will continue until 2023 with an on-site evaluation visit and the decision of the Commission. Leading the effort are the two self-study chairs, Dr. John Sackerman, the chair of the Department of Mathematics and Computer Science, and Professor Leonimus, Associate Dean, Undergraduate Assessment and External Relations, Undergraduate Assessment and External Relations. Representing the Provost's office, I will be supporting this effort, along with Ms. Connie Beal from the Office of Institutional Research. Reaccreditation is a team effort. And we are counting on the support of the entire campus community, and this means you. This is not only an occasion to show that we meet Middle States standards, or a way to guarantee that we continue earning our livelihoods, it is also an opportunity for us to reflect on our collective work, and most particularly the strategic plan and the university mission. So we will come calling fairly soon to ask folks to work on working groups, and please do consider saying yes. We need the brightest, the most diverse, and the best informed faculty on this campus. So thank you very much, and stay tuned. Oh, and I want to welcome to the podium again Dr. John Bushman to give us an update on the faculty merit process.
The purpose of faculty merit is to recognize annual outstanding contributions achieved by members of the faculty in areas of teaching, scholarship, and service. The merit program is intended to support the university's commitment to recognize and reward high-performing faculty members who have made significant contributions to the university's academic enterprise. This year has been particularly challenging on the education front. Some faculty had travel plans canceled, conferences canceled, reviews of submitted research took longer, and changes in teaching mode dominated the work agenda, and countless other ways we have all been impacted by COVID-19. Faculty receiving merit recognition for the 22-21 academic year, 21-22, are listed in the electronic faculty convocation program. When budgetary restrictions are lifted, these faculty will receive merit pay to their base. Congratulations to these faculty. Please look them up. Please welcome to the podium Dr. Peter R., Faculty Emeritus from the Department of Religion. Dr. R. is here to say a few words of tribute to Dr. Albert Hakem, who we lost a few weeks ago. Dr. R.
Al Hakem was an extraordinary man. We want to remember him as proving Shakespeare's Antony wrong. The evil he may have done is interred with his bones, but the good he has done lives after him. A young priest assigned to Seton Hall College when it was a small Catholic institution educating Catholic boys for professional careers, he was instrumental in turning it into a 20th century university. The year after he came, the GI Bill raised Seton Hall College from 300 students to 3,000. The administration of the college remained in the hands of the president and clergy faculty. Lay faculty were quickly hired to teach the additional classes, many of them with, at best, a master's degree. Having earned his doctorate on the pre-Socratics at the University of Ottawa, Al became chair of the Department of Philosophy. He was appointed Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences in 1961, and together with Father Tom Fay, began a radical transformation of Seton Hall into the faculty-centered institution we are now. He fostered the general meetings of the college faculty as a policy-making body, and the meetings of departmental faculty to determine curriculum, recruit new faculty, and recommend promotions, much of which had been the province of the administration. He also supported the development of faculty rank and tenure committees, also something new at Seton Hall. Al was instrumental in transforming the way in which our Catholic identity appeared in the curriculum. The one-credit courses in Thomistic philosophy and basic catechetics that were required only of Catholic students were eliminated and replaced with 3-credit academic courses in philosophy and religion. Since the university did not have enough doctoral faculty to teach these courses, he arranged for a number of promising young faculty to pursue doctorates in those fields. If he couldn't find the faculty he needed, he went ahead and grew them. Perhaps the most obvious mark of Al's view of himself as a faculty leader is the building he designed for the college. A novelty on campus, it contains classrooms with offices for the faculty. Up till then, faculty members had no offices. At best, we had a locker and a mailbox. Significantly, the building Al designed located his office at the center of everything, right inside the main entrance. If you wanted to find the dean, he was right there. We all had a place, he was at the center of it, and we were very welcome to join him. With his easy laugh and ceaseless intellectual curiosity, he was constantly on the lookout for ways to support the talents of the college's faculty. His Center for Humanistic Studies brought international scholars to us, Father Stanley Yockey, Dr. Robert Pollack, Father Larry Murphy, and others. He enabled John Harrington to develop the Poetry in the Round as a chance for world-famous poets to enrich our lives. He sponsored many formal and informal gatherings of faculty members to develop an intellectual community among us. After his time as dean, he continued to be a leader as a professor and, after his retirement from teaching, the originator of the Center for Faculty Development, sponsoring the sharing of faculty members' sabbatical research and developing other enrichments to our faculty community which continue to this day. We are all richer for Al Hakem's influence on our university. It can be said of him what is written on a plaque honoring Sir Christopher Wren, the architect of St. Paul's in London. Si monumentum queris circumspice. If you're looking for his monument, look around you.
Thank you, Dr. R. I once again would like to welcome to the stage Dr. Mary Balkin to read the citation for this year's Albert Haycom Faculty Service Award. Dr. Balkin.
Okay. Will Jonathan Farina please rise? Sorry. Force of habit. As chair of the Faculty Senate, I am pleased to continue the tradition of presenting the Faculty Service Medal in the name of the entire faculty at our annual faculty convocation. The Senate resolution that established this award in 1998 states, quote, "This honor shall be bestowed upon a full-time South Orange faculty member for giving copiously of his or her time, energy, and personal gifts to advance the status and interests of the faculty and thereby of the academic mission of the university," end quote. As a tribute to Dr. Albert Haycom and through a Faculty Senate resolution in 2008, the Faculty Service Medal was renamed the Albert Haycom Faculty Service Medal. It is my pleasure to announce that the 2021 Albert Haycom Faculty Service Medal recipient is Dr. Jonathan Farina, Associate Professor from the English Department, and more recently named Special Advisor to the Provost for Strategy Implementation. Congratulations, Dr. Farina. Thank you, Dr. Balkin, and of course, congratulations, Dr. Farina. I would like to thank everybody who brought this program together, especially those members of the Faculty Convocation Planning Committee who worked tirelessly to make this program happen. As a reminder to all of you, there is a reception outside under the tents next to Jubilee Hall immediately following this program. For those of you who aren't able to stick around and visit, there are grab-and-go options provided. It is tradition that we conclude the faculty convocation by singing our alma mater. Please welcome back our student performers, who will be accompanied by fellow Seton Hall student Abigail Pierre. Thank you, and please stand.